Hello everyone, and welcome to the Populating Models lecture. It's usually a good idea to create some sort of script that will populate your models with some dummy data, that is, fake data. Let's show you how you can use the Faker library to create this sort of script. I'm going to hop over to the editor now. Okay, so here I'm open at the editor, and the first thing we need to do is to actually install the Faker library. And you can do that with a simple pip install, and make sure you're in the correct virtual environment before you do this, but you'll say pip install, and then with a capital F, AKER, hit enter, and this should pip install the Faker Python library for you. And it's a pretty quick download, so it shouldn't take that much time. Alright, looks like it's finished installing for me, so that's all we need to do for that. Okay, let me quickly show you what the documentation for Faker looks like. You can just come to faker.readthedocs.io and then check out the master link here. But it just shows you the basic usage of Faker. I can kind of zoom in here. Basically what you end up doing is after you pip install Faker, you say from Faker import factory, or from Faker import Faker. That's the way we're going to do it. And then you just say fake is an instance of Faker class, and you can call different methods off of it. Create a fake name, create a fake address, create some fake text, etc. And they have tons of methods here, so you can check out the documentation for all the various methods. If you click down here on providers, it shows you things like fake credit card, fake date time, fake internet address, person, Python files, etc. So let's show you how you can use this library, Faker, to actually create some fake data to populate our models with. So inside of my top level first project folder, I'm going to right click and create a new file. And it's kind of up to you where you want to save the population script. I usually save it on the top level file. So again, it's up to you, but we'll call it populate underscore first underscore app.py. And we'll have it open here. Let's minimize some of this stuff so we get a little more room to read this. And then I'm going to say import OS. And then I'm going to need to configure the settings for the project. And I actually need to run this before I call any code. So I need to say os.environ for the environment, and I'm going to set the default, and then I'm going to pass in all caps, Django settings underscore module, and then set it equal to, or pass in as a second parameter, first underscore project dot settings. And basically what this is doing is just configuring the settings for the project. And you need to do this before you start manipulating the actual models. Then from here, we can import Django and then set it up. So I can say Django.setup, and this should set up and configure the project settings. From here on, next is our fake pop script, or fake population script. So I'm going to import a couple things. I'll import random. And then I will also say from first app.models import, we'll do access record, web page, and topic. And then finally, the library we just downloaded, we'll say from Faker import with a capital F, Faker. The naming convention isn't so great there, but that's the way they decided to do it. Then we create an instance of that Faker object. I'll call it FakeGen for fake generation, and then we'll call Faker, close parentheses, and then I'm going to just make a list of topics. So remember the topics, that was a very simple model, so I'll just create those manually. I'll have one topic of websites be search, one topic of websites be social, another one be a marketplace type site, and then finally we'll have news and games. So various topics for different websites. Then we'll create a function that can actually add topics. So say add topic, and this is going to look really similar to using those shell commands. I'll say t is equal to topic dot objects dot, and in this case I'm going to call the get underscore or create. And what this does is it's either going to retrieve the topic if it already exists in the model, or create it. And I'm going to pass in top name is equal to, and I'll say random choice. So the random choice method from the topics list. And then I grab here a 0 because of the way this is formatted back. And to discuss this sort of formatting from get or create a little more is the general format. It's essentially a tuple that returns object and then something that's created. And the first element in the tuple object is a reference to the model instance that this get or create method creates if the database entry wasn't found. And then the entry is created using the parameters that you pass here. And in this case, I'm just saying pick one of these topics as a random choice. And you can check out the official Django documentation if you want more information about this get or create method. But the basic idea here, it's going to return a tuple, and I just want to grab the first object in that tuple, which is that reference to the model instance. So that's why I have to add an additional index of 0 here. Then once I've done that, I'm going to say t.save, as we've done before, and I will then return t. So that's my simple add topic. Now let's show you kind of the more complicated ways for populating access record and web page, which weren't just a simple one word. So I will say def, and we'll just call this populate. And we'll have it a default n to populate with, so the user can then later change that or provide it. We could also make it some sort of command line parameter you can pass in. Right now we'll keep it as, let's say, n equals 5. And what we're going to do is say for entry in range n, first we need to do is get the topic for the entry. So we'll say top is equal to add topic. And then I want to create the fake data for that entry. So I create a fake URL object. So I call fakeGen, which is that instance of faker, and the method for a URL is just .url. Then I need to create some fake dates for that, and that's just, again, fakeGen, and we call date off of that, the date method. And then I need to get a fake name for this website, like a fake company name. So I can call fakeGen dot and then call company off of this. There are a ton of a lot more methods you can call off of this, like fake first name, fake last name, fake credit card, etc. Again, you can explore the documentation if you're interested in those. Right now, that's really all we need. So then I'll create the new web page entry, and I'll create a variable webpg for short for web page, and that will be webpage.objects, and then I'm going to use that getter create again, and then I will specify that for this web page, the topic is equal to top, the URL is equal to that fake URL I generated, and the name of it is equal to that fake name I generated. And again, I need to grab just the first object in that tuple that's returned. So we'll keep that. And then I want to create a fake access record for that web page. So I will say acc underscore rec is equal to access record, again, objects, getter create, and I'll supply that the name was the web page, and then date is equal to fake underscore date. And again, I just want that first object. So note, this is going to be a little different on this first parameter, because if you remember back to what the actual models look like, if I click here, for web page, the topic was the foreign key topic. So when I'm actually generating that fake data, notice that instead of passing just some fake topic name, I'm actually grabbing a topic object. So if we go back here, I'm returning t from add topic. So I'm actually returning a topic object, which is why I'm passing it here when I'm saying get or create. And it's the same thing for access records. If we come back here for access record, its foreign key for the name is web page, so it actually belongs here to web page, which means I'm going to pass in the entire web page here. So that web page that I just created, I'm passing it in to the access record because it was a foreign key. So keep that in mind. You can't just pass in a string here if you have it as a foreign key in the models. Okay, next, finally, at the end of all this thing, I'm going to say if main, name is equal to main here, I'm going to print some command like populating scripts. And then we can say populate. And here you can actually pass in whatever number you want. Remember the default was 5. We could change it to be 20 if we wanted to. That should be no problem. And then once that's done, we'll say something like population, or we'll say populating complete. Save that. And now it's time to actually test to see if we got this all right. So I'll come back up here, and then I'm going to clear my console. And let's make sure I'm in the right place. So I should be under first project, and I will call Python. Whoops. We'll call, make sure I'm right, Python populate underscore first underscore app dot py. Hit enter. It's populating the script. You see kind of a bunch of stuff here happening with DB SQLite. The higher end value you provide, the more time it will take to generate all that fake data, so keep that in mind. It looks like it all worked, so now let's actually test it. Let's run our website. I will say now Python manage.py run server. It's going to run the server, and let me grab this URL and put it in my browser and bring that browser open. So here's the browser, and then let's say /admin. And if we take a look at this, let's check out the web pages we have. And now here I can see I have a bunch of fake web pages that I just generated and populated. Pretty cool. Come back to access records. Here I have a bunch of fake access records, and you could have limited the access record dates. It doesn't really matter for our use case, but we see that we're able to click on one, check it out, has a name. We could also reassign the name. But now you have a better idea of what a fuller database actually looks like. So here are web pages again. Here are the topics. Remember, the topics are just a few topics, but I could click then social, change it, etc. Okay, that's all we need to know now for population scripts. Hopefully, you'll find them useful when you're working with your own websites. We won't touch on them too often in the future, but keep in mind that we can use them, and that Faker library is hopefully really useful to you. Thanks, and I'll see you at the next lecture.